Peace, everyone. This is Jazz. It is March the 9th, 2023 at 3 a.m. And this is my journal entry. Well, I did something silly. I fell asleep at 8 o'clock after having cocktails. Nah, we had margaritas. I ain't gonna perp. We had margaritas. I only had one margarita. And since I really don't drink, maybe pretty tipsy. So I came home and I went to sleep. I don't remember my dream. I do know, like, I dreamed that I just dreamed that I dreamed that I was sleeping, somebody was holding me. That's just the weird part of it. I dreamed I was asleep. Somebody was there. Somebody was the big spoon, the big spoon. They had their arm wrapped around me. Like, that ish felt real. I woke up like, now I know I ain't had nobody up in here. On the other side of my bed is, let me see, let me look over here because I'm still in the bed. I got my cat at the far left end of my bed. I always lay on the right side on the very edge of the bed. One day I'm gonna roll off, but I haven't yet. And then on the other side, it's like a pile of clean clothes I need to fold and put away that I haven't. And that's pretty much it. But somebody maybe was holding me spiritually. I don't know. I don't know it all. Today work was hectic. I put out a lot of fires. I spent my entire day putting out fires. Talking sense and, well, not talking sense, but communicating with family members that are not happy, communicating with patients that aren't happy. Healthcare nowadays is just, how can I say it? I kind of want to get out of the field, but I'm thankful to have the career path that I have because it places me in a position to make enough money to provide for my children. I don't do too bad, especially only having an associate degree in nursing. I feel I make pretty good money, but the pandemic, it kind of, it burned healthcare out. So it's a lot of people leaving healthcare. They're working from home, making about the same amount of money. So they're working from home, making the same amount of money. Some people are still traveling, getting pandemic pay out of state. But because of that, and so many people leaving the field, a lot of shortages. And a lot of companies, well, local companies, they're weeding out agency because there's no way a company can survive for years and years and years long term with agency in the building. It's just, number one, it's risky because um I'm just gonna say agency, they don't care because there's no consequence. They could put you in a position to receive like an immediate jeopardy or to be, receive major citations, especially if you're working in, like, I work in with the elderly, like in gerontology. I manage a geriatric rehab unit, and when you're in a nursing home, you know the state is a lot more strict than they are if you were per se in a hospital or another healthcare setting. And all these guidelines are set up to protect the elderly. But when people come in agency, they don't care. There are times where I've had to send agency staff home because they'll come and clock in and you can't find them, or they just do whatever. So it's not the best idea to have them. But another bad thing about agency is that it is expensive. It's ungodly expensive to pay these people to be in the building. So most companies, what they're doing is trying to maximize the staff that they have, give them more money, and like have more retention incentives to keep people. But the thing is that those people get burned out because you're working with minimum staffing. And when I say minimum staffing, that means like if the state says that every STNA can have up to 15 or 20 patients, and STNA is working with 15 to 20 patients. That is a lot, especially if you're working day shift and you're handling all three meals, showers, toileting 2 to 3 hours, everybody at different times. You know what I mean? Or the nurse ratio is like maybe in a nursing home setting, 1 to 35 or whatever. I'm not stating any specific state guidelines. I'm just throwing numbers out there. And these nurses are working one nurse with 35 people. And you got to understand, like, depending on where you work at, out of your 35 people, you might have 12 diabetics. And they all got to have their sugar checked every meal 4 times a day. You know what I mean? And then if you're working skilled rehab, which my rehab nurses don't have as many patients, they'll probably have like maybe 10 to 14 patients. We try to keep them with less patients because their acuity is higher. But then you got people who just had surgery. They need pain medicine. You're constantly assessing them. Some of them are still sick when they come back from the hospital, especially if they're post like MI, which is like a heart attack, myocardial infarction, or they're post stroke. So we're watching them, or they've had other issues that we have to watch for. You know what I mean? So you're constantly, people get burned out. They get tired. And then to make it so bad, you have patients and families complaining because at the hospital, your one nurse had maybe you and another patient, or you and two other patients, and you come here and your nurse got 15 patients. So they can't answer your light or move the way you would like them to move because the patient load is different. So it's a lot. Um, and again, these girls are burnt out. They're working their butts off. So, and companies, it's not like my job is specific, don't care. I will say that, working in management gives me a different standpoint. We meet all the time to talk about how we can appreciate staff to keep them, but we just can't keep them. People are tired. People are getting burnt out, and then also it's competitive right now because the staffing shortages. So companies they're rolling out money. They're offering a lot of money. And sometimes some people, they're more money motivated than working in a good environment with I would like to say that, and I'm excluding myself, but like this is the first time I've ever worked at a place where I had support with management, like the DON I work up under and the ADON I work up under. Like we'll all hit the floor together. We done hit the floor and worked as STNAs. We done hit the floor and gave showers. We done get the floor and took the keys and helped pass medications, to help the nurses. Every admission that walks in the door, I have my hands in it, whether I'm putting their meds in or, helping the nurses with different stuff, helping, keep track of lab work and stuff like that. So it's just, it's difficult right now. That's one reason why I want to leave. I know that was long winded. My second reason is my spiritual work is my passion. Um, I just feel like though I know naturally I'm a healer. You know, when I did work the floor, I was a great nurse. My patients tend to thrive and flourish around me, and I just think it's energetic. Um, and I try to say this as humble as possible because I don't want, I never wanted others to feel like I have a big ego or anything like that. But when you're constantly being told by other people, like your patients do better when you're here, or the environment is better when you're here, sometimes you just have to accept the fact that that's the energy that you have within yourself. And I'm just stepping into acceptance of that. Like, okay, that's just me. I used to fight it, or I used to like overdo it trying to show that that's me, like go above and beyond and show people like, yes, I'm a great person, yes, I love, yes, I want to heal you, let me go above and beyond and show you, when sometimes all you have to do is just be. So my focus over the last few years is just being myself, and I'm realizing that that's all I need to be. Some people, they can handle you or like you being yourself, and some people can't, and that's okay. But my spiritual work is my passion, you know and it's not, I didn't start this for other people, I started this for myself. But just in helping myself, I've been able to reach other people, which is great. Um, I just want, I feel deeply that I serve a purpose more than working on a skilled rehab unit taking care of people. Whether that purpose pays or not, I feel like I just, I have this, I've always felt this drive on the inside. I always had this feeling like you are here to do something big. And big may not be like, big don't have to be being all over TV and exposing myself and doing all types of stuff like that. Big can be within the confines of your own home. Big can be knowing that you're powerful, knowing that the words that you speak heal, and putting that energy just out in the cosmos. Because at the end of the day, I believe spiritually, definitely, we're all connected. To me, everything that ever exists, to me, the way I see it is just like one big brain. That's the way I look at every single form of existence right now. It's just one big, we're together, we're just all one big brain. And you got your brain, right? And then you got your different lobes. And then you, within those lobes, you have all these nerve cells or neurons, and they're all interconnected, and they send impulses and symbols to each other, and like different sides of the brain, they have different functions. Some of them function in speech, some function in balance, some function in certain movements, whether it's fine motor skills or the other type of skills. It's just like, the way you walk, talk, move, how pain is transmitted to your body. The brain processes all of that. And that's how I look at the universe. So we're all connected. So it's about a collective to me. So, like, I have been in the habit of just genuinely praying and sending healing energy over the collective, because for some reason, deep down inside, I feel that I'm powerful enough to create a spark. And there are a lot of people out here that are praying for the collective every day. And we're just creating these impulses, these sparks, and they're spreading, and it is spreading spiritually, like across these, like they're like waves. Kind of like um in the brain again with, neurons, like it receives the electrical impulse or message via like neurotransmitters. The cell receives it through I think they're called dendrites. I could be wrong. Then they're processed and then they're sent down at axon. Then they're released into this synapses. And then the next cell picks it up and it keeps sending the message. And I just think that spiritually we work the same way. And that's how like messages, go and they receive. Of course, things happen to interrupt these messages. There are forces that block these messages, which is kind of like natural. People want to call them evil or negative forces, but they're just natural forces that are naturally here to block certain impulses. But that doesn't stop that cell from doing its job, which is receiving and sending impulses. It's just things that block it. Or maybe it's not insulated well, or the myelin sheath is kind of worn down, and you get illnesses where certain impulses are blocked. But as a collective, we're still connected, and we can still send those impulses and send love and healing to each other. So whether I'm meant to sit here in my room every night and say a prayer for the collective to hope for positive change and positive movement, then that's what I'm here to do. Or if I'm here to speak what I'm seeing or I'm feeling in front of other people, that's what I'm here to do. Or even if it's, helping someone connect with someone that passed away, or teaching somebody how to do that. That's what I'm here to do. Either way it goes, it's to make a difference. And it starts with one person. And there are people out here that are quietly making differences every single day. So that's what I feel like I'm here to do. I just feel like I'm here to make a difference. I'm here to drive positive change. I did a channel the other day, and lately I've been channeling a lot of doom and gloom. I'm not gonna hold y'all. I don't even share them because some of it my spirit is not permitting me to share yet. So I'm not sure what they, because I feel like whatever's channeling me and communicating with me, I feel like it's a they. I don't feel like it's just like one spirit communicating with me. I feel like it's a they. And I think what I don't know what they want me to do with the information, but I just feel compelled, which tells me that I'm instructed to write it down. But they made a they made a point, and they was like, yeah, all this stuff is going to happen, but the collective can change it. They have the power to change it. And it starts with that spark, like that spark in the mind. So I was told that that spark has already been ignited, and you could tell because of how people are growing and finding peace and spreading love and doing stuff, but it ain't enough yet. You know what I mean? But I just feel like I need to be part of that spark or whatnot. I feel like I'm here to be that spark. I do want to send some healing and love and prayers out to a good friend of mine. No name needed, but she found a lump in her breast and she had it biopsied today. So we're just sending love and positive results. On another end, a good friend of mine found out that her child was positive for a rare cancer. But if there's anything I do believe in, is I believe in miracles. So when she called me today from the doctor's office and I spoke to the baby's surgeon, which they're going to refer to a pediatric oncologist, I just instantly started praying and sending great energy and love to that baby, because she is like, I know y'all have, like, but have y'all ever met somebody and you just love them? The crazy thing is, before I even met, because I'm friends with both of her parents, before I even met this little girl in person, before I even met the mom and became friends with the mother, I just knew I would love this little girl. I just knew I loved her. I just knew it. She just special to me, and now I understand why, because she's an extremely gifted child. To see a 5 year old with autism, higher functioning though, give a mediumship reading and didn't even know, it blows my mind. Quick story time. Her mom called me and she said that the little girl kept pointing at a picture of a man on the dresser. And she kept pointing at the picture and saying she heard the dogs, speaking of the dogs. Well, come to find out, the man in the picture was passed away, but he owned the dog kennel. And it's just, this little girl amazes me. So I always love her. And I always call her when I talk to the mom and she's around. I'll talk to her. Her speech is a little delayed, but she can talk. And then, like, I always try to take her cookies. I just feel like she one of mine. That's how much I love this little girl. I feel like she one of mine. Like, it's like I feel naturally motherly with her. She's a great mother. She has a great mother, by the way. Her mom is very attentive, and that's how they were able to get her diagnosed. So shout out to her mom for being the wonderful mom that she is. But this little girl is just amazing to me. You know what I mean? So she was diagnosed with cancer today, and she was just so sweet to her mom. Her mom was just hysterical. She's crying. She's nervous. How could you not? And she was just kissing her mom, We were on video call. I was at work and I had to fight back my tears because I kind of mentored a mother, so I knew that if she seen me cry, she was gonna panic. And I'm just crying because emotionally I love this baby, not intuitively because I picked up something doom and gloom. So I couldn't really show her any emotion, but I did shed a tear or two when I got off the phone with her. But she was just kissing her mom and giving her comfort and wiping her tears and just telling her mom, I love you, mommy. Don't cry. Don't be sad, mommy. I love you. And hugging her. And she's just the sweetest little thing. Oh my gosh. It reminds me of my 7 year old. My 7 year old, she's so gifted. She has mediumship abilities too, but she is just these little kids that are coming up, they're just star seeds. They're so gifted and they're so special and they're filled with so much love. And I'm not a touchy person or a clingy person, but my 7 year old, when she come hug on me, I just let her hug on me. I don't even like that stuff. I just come here because it's just love, you know. And the same thing for her. You know, I went to visit a few times, and one day we spent the whole day over their house. Mom cooked dinner. She was a great host, and the little girl, she kept hugging on me, and you just can't help it. And you hug her back. Come here. Oh, she's so sweet. But this young lady, my friend, all her kids they're just amazing, gifted kids. It's like a home full of gifted people, which makes sense because the mother's gifted and the father's gifted. So of course the whole family gonna be gifted. That's just a must. But anyhow, we found out she had cancer today. It's rare, but it has a 90% survival rate. So there's more testing that needs to be done. But we just gonna speak that healing into the universe because I've been praying for this girl all day. Um, just every moment I get and I think about her, I just say a prayer or I'll state the end of a Innabacoic because, I want healing over this baby. And I say a prayer for her mom and the family too, and the father too, just praying for all of them because, who wants to hear that about their child? But anywho, I just feel like when we pray for people, I believe in prayer. I will say that. I believe that prayer works. I'm all over the place on this journal entry, y'all, but y'all just gonna have to take this. I truly believe that prayer works, y'all. And it does. So when you have a collective speaking these prayers into people, they work. Quick story time before I end this. I knew this man. He was in kidney failure. He was on dialysis, blood pressure through the roof. They couldn't manage it. He had been on dialysis over a year, maybe 2 years or so. But when I met him, we would hang out and stuff, and something just told me to pray for him. So what I did, number one, is did some research, looked up some crystals that can help heal the kidneys, bought some stone beads, and made him a beautiful bracelet with those stones on them. Mind you, when I made the stones, I prayed over them for days and I placed them on my ancestral altar because if you use your ancestral altar right, like I can use my ancestral altar as a charging station, which means that I can put items on there and I feel like my altar charged them, gave them to him. Every time I would see him, I would, hold his hand and pray over him. And ever so often I would take those beads and charge them and pray over them. The good thing about him was that um, he shared his lab work with me. So I was able to track his lab work. With the kidneys, you're gonna look at the creatinine and you're going to look at other numbers as well. You're going to look at their hemoglobin, creatinine. You're definitely going to look at potassium, sodium, and stuff like that because when your kidneys are not functioning properly, it messes with your electrolyte balances. You're also going to look at protein, stuff like that because if your kidneys aren't working, what's breaking all this stuff down? People don't understand how important your kidneys are, but I'm not going to get out medical on y'all. Back to the story. Anyhow, I would just pray for him constantly. Every time I seen him, and I remember I had was at an appointment with him, or like it was like a virtual appointment, and the doctor was talking to him, and she was just like, your labs are like turning around, they're improving. She's like, I don't understand what's going on. She said this happens, but she said it doesn't happen like this. The way your labs are, like your kidneys are regaining function, she said is rare, because it was happening so fast. It was happening so fast. So put it this way. Um he had been on dialysis for like 3 years. Kidneys had, I mean, no function. He wasn't even urinating no more. They weren't functioning. And within, this was February. February I started. By February, March, April, May, June, between June, about June, that's when we started to see the change around, the changes being made, and stuff like that. And they were just in the talks of putting him on the waiting list to get a kidney transplant. Baby, let me tell y'all something. By August, that man's kidneys regained almost full function. Do you hear me? He no longer needed dialysis. Um, his blood pressure just started being normal. Imagine his blood pressure. I would check his blood pressure when I see him. It'd be like 209 over 100. It's just high over 100. Just high. Bottom number being at 3 digits, top number being at 3 digits. And he was on so many blood pressure medicines, high milligrams. He went down by the time he left and stopped doing dialysis. He was on a low dose of metoprolol, which is a beta blocker. He was like on 12.5 milligrams or something like that. He was on a low dose of that. Miraculous. He was also exhibiting signs of hyperglycemia, but he wasn't yet diagnosed diabetes. But his A1C was like in that weird range that went back to normal too. Everything just started shifting back into normal. So I'm not saying that my words or my prayers healed him, because you got to be careful with how you see and how you state things. But I feel like that helped. And the crazy thing is, I used to lay hands on him. Like, he would hug me, and I would like wrap my arms around him, and I would place my hands in his kidney area, or I would just, he would lay across my lap, and I would lay my hands on his back. And he used to tell me like, Jazz, your hands feel very hot. Your hands feel like they're vibrating, and stuff like that. It's just that I just think, as humans, we're more powerful than we think we are, and we're able to do more than we think that we can do. You know what I mean? So I'm going to go ahead and in this episode, for those that don't believe that prayer works, I am living testimony that it does. It does work. So I will be praying every day for my friend's child, my friend, and my other friend who had the biopsy, getting the tumor moved out of her breast. But for all of those who need help and assistance or guidance or anything like that, because I believe that the brain has the power to heal the body if you believe that it can. I love you all. Don't forget, and I love you 11 times in the mirror. I love you 11 times before you go to bed. Do some skincare. Take care of your body. Love on yourself. Love on your kids and your family. If you got a good man, love on your man, girl. Cause man coming, I can feel him. I know he coming. I can feel him. It feels. I just feel like I'm close. You got a good woman, love on your woman. Give her a hug. Give her a kiss. If your parents are still alive and they here, and y'all have a good relationship, love them. If you don't have a good relationship with your parents, make peace with it. If your children are still here, love on them. You ain't talking to your kids, make peace with it and still love them. Even love the people that hurt you. Love the people that hurt you. But just spread love everywhere because that's that creative spark. That creative spark is love. The key to healing is just love. I'm telling you, love is so fucking powerful. Shit, that's the answer. Love. Should a motherfucker broke your heart? You trying to figure out how to heal to get over something? Love them. I remember my teacher gave me us a big challenge. He was like, if somebody hurt you real bad and you have trouble forgiving them, put them on your altar. I'm like, whatever. Till I was faced with putting a few people on my altar. That's when I realized that I had trouble forgiving people because it was difficult placing their pictures and their names on my altar. But I did it. And when I did it, after a while, I started to feel better and I started to love them, even though they had caused me harm. And I started to look at things from a different understanding or a different perspective. So love everyone, even those that are harmful to you, even those that did you wrong, hurt you, ghosted you, put hands on you, assaulted you, abused you, took from you, whatever. And love and forgive yourself for anything that you've done to other people. Peace.